Using a motorhome in the winter, this is your worst nightmare. But we figured out ways to combat damp in our van, so let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Wheel Life Wednesdays. This week's episode's about damp in your motorhome.
So, being in your motorhome in the winter months, you will get a lot of condensation, whether you like it or not. Just breathing at night causes, I think it's about a pint, isn't it, or something?
Yeah,
overnight,
like
so it's quite a bit, and then you cook in and whatever. And so, yeah, you've got to be able to deal with that, because if you leave everything damp, then you're going to get mould.
So, although modern motorhomes are well insulated now, they still get cold spots, and to prevent that from happening, they do things like build air gaps behind the cushions, so the cushions can sit away from the walls. We have the older heating in our motorhome, and they've got radiators down the bottom here that send heat up through this gap, so it keeps that area there, the back of the wall where there could be a cold spot, nice and warm on cold nights.
The oldest system is quite good. It's a wet system, and so we've got little radiators everywhere. And so Tracy's just said about the radiators behind the cushions. So yeah, every cushion has got a little radiator down behind there, so that circulates the warm air all through. On this vehicle we've got underfloor heating as well, so there's pipes running through various parts of the floor, which is really nice and toasty. This one has got a little booster fan. I think it's a little radiator behind, and you can put that on boost to keep the temperature up if it gets really cold. And then in the bedroom we've got a few areas. We've got a little grill up on this little shelf on both sides, and where the pipes all come through, just down on the side here, there's lots of heat come up through this way. Again, all the pipes are running through underneath the floor.
So all the cold spots then in the bedroom have got heat coming up in them.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And there's a great big long radiator in the back of the garage as well, so that keeps all that nice and toasty, so that's not cold either in there.
So despite the nice heating keeping those places nice and dry, we still get condensation, and one of the worst places is the front windscreen. Unlike the habitation windows, it's not double glazed, so in the cold winter we can wake up in the morning with quite a bit of condensation on there, can't we?
Yeah, it can be running down the window at times, can't it?
Yeah, and you can get outside covers, and we have got one, but we don't use it because we're often on the move, and if we're in a park up we can't really use an outdoor cover.
No, that's not ideal.
So the other places are the kitchen, that we get it obviously with the steam from cooking, in the shower when we're having a shower, and in the bedroom from breathing out all night.
So to combat it, on the window anyway, on the windscreen, we've got one of those window vacs, which is quite good. I was a bit dubious at first, but it does quite a good job of taking all the wetness away from the window.
Instead of using a cloth, which will then be soaked with that water, and you've got to get the water out of that, haven't
exactly,
you?
Yeah, basically it vacuums it away from the window, and then you've got the squidgy to dry it completely. And then puts it in a nice little tank so you can just tip it away.
All the steam the cooking creates, we've got a extractor fan overhead that we can put on. I won't put it on now because it's really noisy.
It is very noisy.
But it does a good job, doesn't it, of extracting all the steam.
Yeah.
And if we've got loads, if you've got two pans bubbling away, we might put the max air fan on as well. And we'll have that on blowing in, won't we, which forces the air up through there, doesn't it, if all the other windows are shut? Yeah,
because it's actually vented outside. There is a hole on the outside of the van there with a little screen over it that actually blows it outside.
So that's pretty good at getting not only the steam but the smells, cooking smells out.
Yeah, it all helps. Yeah. And so for the shower, and by the way, does anybody else have this problem when you're in a van for a long time or living in it? The shower tends to be the cloakroom and storage area.
Yeah, so we don't have anywhere for our coats, do we? So,
so
it becomes a cloakroom.
That's right, yeah. So we definitely don't want damp or any wet in the shower after we finish with it. So we make sure it's all squeegeed down and we dry it all off with a towel. To the point where after 18 months of living in it, it's still as shiny now as when we bought it, because it's always dried, even with...
You can see it with the coats in the way, but yeah, all nice and shiny.
And that's being in an area with very hard water as well. So there's no scale on it. That just shows if it's all dried off, you don't get any scale build up. And
these are the towels we use, which aren't normal towels. They're quick drying, lightweight Dock and Bay towels. We were recommended these by the lovely Beth from Hills Explore, because if you've got standard towels, obviously they hold on to the wet and they can stay damp for ages, which isn't very good. So we invested in some of these, which are great, lovely and soft. They're really easy to wash as well and dry. They dry in no time, don't they?
Yeah, very good.
Don't take up a lot of room when you've got a lot of washing.
They're really thin, aren't they? But they hold a lot of water.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they are really good. Then last of all, we've got the bedroom. So in the bedroom, in the mornings, if we wake up and there's steam on the bottom of the windows, we crack them open and open the max air fan on extract on about 20%. But in the time it takes us to have breakfast, the max air fans sucked in a nice lot of air and dried the windows off, so no condensation and a nice fresh bedroom. So that's what we do to combat damp. Have you got any anti-damp tricks? If you have, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for some more van life content. Thanks for watching.
Bye.